You're applying to be an expendable?
Yeah.
You read through the whole application.
I should have read through it.
Hey guys, Society Reviews here, my review of the film Mickey 17. It's not difficult to figure out why Hollywood's domestic box office has dropped another 3% last year. Audiences have become fed up of watching movies from Hollywood that basically tells the audience how much the industry hates them. One of the biggest eye-rolling terms out of Hollywood over the last 2 decades is the term satire. Hollywood's idea of satire is mocking their political enemies and then tearing them down as the caricatures they believe they are. This becomes a problem when your political enemies that you're attacking is the audience itself. With Donald Trump back in office, Hollywood is wasting no time turning every film antagonist into a caricature of Donald Trump. As a result, the villains by default are Trump supporters, the same people who just secured the largest political landslide for Republicans in the last 35 years. Are you starting to see the problem here? Hollywood creates a movie critiquing everything in society that they don't like, which the majority of their domestic film audience actually supports. They label it satire, and then we get films such as Mickey 17. The film begins with a man named Mickey who finds himself on the wrong end of a loan shark after a failed business idea leaves him in debt to a very dangerous group of people. As a result, Mickey finds himself becoming an expendable for a group of people who are looking to create an all-white genetically superior colony led by Kenneth Marshall, played by Mark Ruffalo. Marshall is an egotistical politician who is totally not a stand-in for Donald Trump. Being expendable means that Mickey becomes a scientific guinea pig for an organization that uses his body to run several diabolical tests that kill him. However, his body can be reprinted with all his memories after the fact. When Mickey manages to survive one of the latest missions and ends up with a multiple that was printed before his last body was killed, 17 is now forced to figure out how he's going to juggle the antics of 18 without getting them both killed in the process. Mickey 17 is a movie that barely qualifies as being called one. There's not much of a plot here to this film, as the movie is nothing more than a stretched out premise. A guy who can die at will and be brought back due to a bunch of scientific mumbo jumbo. While the premise on paper sounds like an entertaining movie, the film's objective isn't to entertain, the film is meant to lecture its audience. And if there's anything that modern audiences can't stand in 2025, it's paying hard-earned money to be lectured to by Hollywood. The film's objective is to play up to left-wing societal fears of capitalism and fascism and make those who freaking MSNBC and Huffington Post feel like they're watching something that is actually happening in real life rather than being a complete work of fiction. Bong Joon-ho, who wrote and directed this movie, has become a rock star in Hollywood due to his previous films that have found new and creative ways to attack capitalism. While his previous work such as Snowpiercer and Parasite has earned him popularity with both Hollywood and North Korea of all places, Bong is taking his one trick and writing it till the wheels fall off. The film has about as much subtlety as a brick to the face. The story is focused on colonizing a planet called Nephilim, which sounds very similar to Nephilim. The exposition is led by a racist Christian cult-like leader whose followers wear red hats and treat him like he's God. Like any good communist uprising, the film at some point divulges into the protagonist leading a revolution against his leader while trying to juggle a romantic subplot that might as well not even be in the movie given how much chemistry the two actors share on screen. There are far too many tonal issues with this film to the point where it never feels balanced at any point. For audiences looking for a more straightforward sci-fi comedy, the movie never progresses to that point outside of the opening monologue. The film is too bloated for its own good, pushing a runtime that's nearly 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it takes only 30 minutes to figure out this is not the film that you were sold in the advertisements. If there's any resemblance of positivity to be had here, Robert Pattion goes all in a role where he is the sacrificial lamb of a story that treats him like a joke from start to finish. Patterson, however, does not have the charismatic charm to make audiences turn a blind eye to the ever-growing problems associated with this movie. Bong is on record by saying that he wants to become a writer that writes one screenplay a year that AI can never replicate. However, if this is the type of screenwriting we can expect from human writers, I would expect total domination by artificial intelligence within the next 3 years. Mickey 17 is another example that Hollywood writers need to spend more time in therapy than expect audiences to sit through 2.5 hours of their venting session about the problems of modern society. I give this film a 0 out of 5.
Once you die, we'll print a new version of your body.